Hi, I'm Gus. I've been invited to speak to you today because of my unique qualifications. Amongst them, my brother Tim works here. People say that we bear a resemblance, but I don't get it. He's so much shorter than I am. I like church. I like church people. I like religion. People even call me Holy Gus. Yeah? That fishing stuff, it's in the Bible. Jesus called fishermen to go be fishers of folks like you. I'm really glad about that. And he even called me to get in on the action. I had neighbors. I had neighbors who liked to fish as much as I do. It was a dad and his boy, and about every Sunday morning they could see us slipping out of town to the lake. It got to be so on Sundays they started calling us Father, Son, and Holy Gus. You know, my love of fishing started really early when I was a kid. I showed up for Sunday school late one day, and my Sunday school teacher, Mrs. Horace Hornswagel, she was pretty nervous because I was always there and I was always on time. So she said, "Is everything all right, Gus?" And I told her, yeah, everything was all right. I'd planned to go fishing with my dad that day, but my dad said it was more important for me to go to Sunday school. Well, old Mrs. Hornswagel, she was downright impressed, and she asked if my dad had explained why it was that I should go to Sunday school rather than go fishing. Yes, ma'am, I said. Yes, ma'am, he did. He said I had to go to Sunday school because he didn't have enough bait for both of us. And one day I was talking with a lady across the alley. She was hanging up clothes on the line, and you know, religion being so important to me, I was telling her what Jesus means to me, and she likes to put on airs. So she told her little girl in the sandbox to go inside because she wanted to read a couple of passages to Gus too, from that book that means so much to her. Would you go get that? So sure enough, little girl goes in the house. She comes back out, and she hands her mom a copy of 50 Shades of Sherwood. You thought I was going to say something else. 50 Shades of Sherwood. Well, what do you call yourselves up here? Lutherans. That's it, Lutherans. My cousin Betty Jo, she married a Lutheran. You know, down where I come from, there aren't many of them. My Aunt Sylvia, she thought that Betty Lou was going to have to sign a paper saying her kids were going to grow up yodeling and liking Luda-whiskey or something like that. You know, I mean, that Luda-whiskey people, that's not real fish. But you Lutherans, I'm impressed with you up here. You know, you got big churches. And they tell me that y'all got websites. I got all kinds of websites in my basement and spiders to go with them. I don't see anything to brag about. Oh, gospel according to Gus. You haven't heard it yet, but I understand that your story this morning is about Jesus going out to tell people to do stuff. Teach and preach and baptize, good stuff. But here it is, according to Gus. People, put down your cell phones and go fishing. Go fishing for folks. And when you catch them, you dunk them. You dunk them in the water in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost. There you go. Well, that's about it for me. I got to go Twitter something and see if I can find Tim, I guess. Oh, and thanks all for coming, even if it's just because you ran out of bait.